Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
All
I'll
right.
taste and
Just going to give
see.
it a couple more minutes for folks to join. And then we're going to get started.
Your mic's muted. That's when you want to talk.
No, there we go.
Who is that? That's Miss Christina. Hey,
Hey.
how you doing?
Good. How are you?
Okay.
All right. We're just going to get started in one more minute. All right. So I want to say thank you to everyone for joining us this evening. We are recording this meeting and it will be posted to Park Heights website. I'll make sure we put the link in the chat where you can find this recording, followed by any questions from this evening that we answer so that everyone has access to all the information. Is everyone able to see the presentation on the screen? Great. Awesome. Okay. So good evening once again, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us. Really excited to be presenting the request for qualifications this evening with you all. My name is Christina Williams with Park Heights Renaissance. And tonight we're just going to be talking about an opportunity that hopefully comes across as more than just a contract or projects, but it's truly about an opportunity for transformation here in Park Heights. The Comprehensive Safety Beautification and Community Revitalization RFQ. I know that's a lot to say and that it touches on a lot, but it's how we bring the vision of a safer, stronger, more vibrant Park Heights to life. So this isn't, once again, just about contracts, it's about a vision. And it's about what it means to build a safe and thriving business corridor in Park Heights, one where design, dignity, and opportunity come together to create a community that feels cared for, connected, and full of potential. Which anyone who's been in Park Heights, who's worked in Park Heights, knows that that is absolutely how you would describe it. So our purpose tonight is to introduce this RFQ, explain how you can participate, and share how it fits into the broader collective impact model, which guides Park Heights Renaissance's work. We'll walk through the goals, the process, and the opportunities that are available, and how you can be part of this growing movement to make Park Heights a model for community-led revitalization. Also, let me just make this a full presentation. I'm sorry. Let me just do it from here. There we go. All right. Now we're cooking with gas. Okay. So just a few important dates to go over. We released this RFQ on October the 20th. And tonight, obviously, we're having our virtual information session. On this Friday, we're asking that all questions regarding the RFQ come to the business engagement email address, which we'll have at the end of the slide presentation for you to review, for you to be able to write down. It's also available on our website, which we'll also post the link in the chat just so that you have access to where that is. But we're asking that responses are due by November the 24th at 4 p.m., just ahead of the holidays, so you don't have to worry about or think about this as you enjoy time with your family. So getting a little bit more into following the deadline. We'll talk a little bit more about what to expect after you submit your deadline in terms of our review process. But we're hoping that early 2026, we will be tapping on our vendors to get this work started. Okay, so the purpose. I'm not going to read everything on the slides. I'm sure everyone has seen the RFQ, but hopefully I'm giving some context. Again, if anyone has questions as the presentation goes on, we'll try to answer all of them at the end. And anything we can't get to, a reminder, it will be posted on our website. So the purpose of this RFQ is to cultivate a qualified network of community-minded partners to advance a coordinated, equity-centered vision for safety, beautification, and revitalization along the Park Heights Main Street corridor. And so what all that means is the purpose of this is simple, but I think very powerful to build a network of partners who can help us bring a shared equity-centered vision for safety and revitalization to life along Park Heights Main Street. We're building relationships. That's the intention of this RFQ. This is about aligning people, resources, and ideas around the truth that safety, justice, and economic opportunity are interconnected. We don't believe that you address one without addressing the others. And our approach to safety is not about policing or enforcement. It's about collaboration. It's about building and maintaining trust, and it's about taking care of one another, creating an ecosystem that supports community, wellness, beautification, and safety in a holistic way. So we're aligning four things that we believe truly belong together when we're having this conversation, and that's safety through design. So when we say that, we're talking about lighting, visibility, and activation of public spaces, beautification, and by that we mean art, landscaping, and storefront improvements that reflect the history and the culture of our community. Community justice, so addressing harm through restoration and relationship building, and economic opportunity because true safety requires stability and self-determination. And so hopefully what comes across through this RFQ is it's a way to connect every investment in Park Heights back to the people and the purpose in this place. Okay. So our collective impact, again, all of this was in your present, all of this was in the RFQ, but just to make sure that there is context provided along with this. Safety is more than the absence of crime. It is about belonging, access, and dignity. Our goal is to strengthen safety and wellness across the corridor in ways that look like care for one another, for our community, for our resources, for our assets, which are often our people, but not control. We're focusing on lighting and design and revitalization that make our spaces feel welcoming, active, and alive. And again, if you've been to Park Heights, like you get that feeling. People are always out and about and engaging with one another. But we want to do this in a very intentional way that doesn't take away from any of the daily feels that you experience when you're in Park Heights. And so for this particular RFQ, while every single one of our six pillars are important, this sits at the intersection of three pillars in particular: community safety and justice, workforce development, and commercial revitalization. So that means that every improvement we make, every light we install, every facade that we restore, every youth program that's launched contributes to the shared vision of a thriving Main Street. And so this year, Park Heights Renaissance has continued to put that vision into action. There are some things that we've enacted already. We've received Project Restore dollars. And so we're revitalizing some of our vacant storefronts, one which will be opening soon, hopefully early next year, as the Main Street office. So taking a long disinvested or unoccupied space and turning that into a hub for collaboration and business improvement and development. Also distributing new capacity building grants to local businesses, supporting businesses, and moving forward from where they are to a place of compliance. And so these investments strengthen small business operations, improve corridor safety, and demonstrate how funding and partnership can align to create visible, lasting impact. And we're leading the way by putting ourselves right there in the forefront, right there in the mix. And so we do have some partners that we've already identified that have been working with us long term on this. This is not the first conversation we've had about safety in our commercial corridors or safety in our community. And so we have some partners that we want to make sure everyone is aware of and how they will be partnering with them. And this is truly a collective effort. And so PHR serves as the lead coordinator, working closely with our board safety committee, but Baltimore Police Department, Clean and Green Crew, and local business associations. And so this is what we are really kind of framing as a rapid response ecosystem. Each partner brings their expertise from greening to mentoring to safety engagement. And together we address the issues before they become a crisis or continue to, impact our daily lives. Our partners also include businesses who've recently benefited from our capacity building grants and restore project funding, helping them to strengthen operations, upgrade their storefronts, and participate directly in the neighborhood revitalization efforts. We've already received some questions, and so I'm trying to also build those into this presentation. So hopefully those of you who've already had questions about how to participate and how to be engaged, that we do answer some of those questions. And one of them came from developers and other social entrepreneurs who were asking, where can I help most? And so the answer is in the restoration and reinvestment piece. Community, we need partners who can build affordable, high quality spaces for local businesses while also mentoring smaller contractors and hiring from within Park Heights. And so we hope that those who are interested and have capacity to do that are here on this call and are interested in being a part of this work. Also, around youth oriented programs, they are absolutely welcome and encouraged to participate. We see young people as vital contributors, not just participants, as we sometimes see young people show up. Because they are our future leaders. And this work is meant to be sustainable. And so building and training additional leaders as we continue to do this work is absolutely part of our priority. Okay, and I feel like I'm moving through this pretty quickly, so I see things moving in the chat. So I hope that these are questions that we answer along the way, but we'll get to them as soon as possible. So Park Heights Comprehensive Safety and Beautification Strategy, it aims to accomplish four things in particular: reduction in environmental and behavioral risk factors that lead to crime, strengthen community trust through restorative practices, enhance corridor design and functionality, and create equitable contracting and workforce opportunities. And I know that's a lot, we're being very ambitious with this. But the Park Heights Main Street corridor is the heart of Northwest Baltimore. I mean, it's a great space and it's full of opportunity. It is long as well. So it stretches from Shirley Avenue to Northern Parkway. It is currently the third longest urban main street in the country, and home to over 130 active businesses, ranging from barbershops and restaurants to community service centers and churches. And so through this RFQ, we're addressing long-standing safety and design challenges by bringing those restorative justice practices, those environmental design practices, and economic opportunity into one framework. Our challenge is not a lack of entrepreneurship or energy for that matter, but we've experienced, like many other places in this city and in this country, years of underinvestment that have left our business districts without the infrastructure or safety features, or even visual consistency, like across design, that our businesses and our neighbors and residents truly deserve to see. And so through this initiative, similar to the funding we received in Project Restore, we're beginning to close some of those gaps. And so making tangible improvements that enhance both safety along with partnering around sustainability. Through this initiative, we're investing in visible upgrades that build pride, attract foot traffic, and support business growth. And another question that came up around small businesses with small infrastructure. You absolutely have knowledge in this work that we value. And so your knowledge and energy and your relationships are absolutely factored into this work. And so we're hoping to build a list of potential vendors and folks who have direct knowledge as well to our community. feel like I'm moving a little faster than than my notes that I have here. So I'm just gonna take a second and get myself reoriented so that we can talk about the service categories because I think that's why everybody's really here. Okay, cool. So some of the service categories that we're hoping to line up and identify specific vendors along with are safety and lighting, community design and placemaking, justice and wellness, along with facade design and construction, interior, build out and code compliance, sustainability, and green infrastructure. So when we talk about safety and lighting, again, those projects look like lighting, crosswalks, pedestrian scale improvements. But we've seen across, many different places during the pandemic, we saw a lot of beautiful designs that popped up around the sidewalks, like really hoping to both slow down traffic, and which is very important in a commercial corridor, so businesses can be seen from the street as folks are driving by. But also just to provide better access for folks who need to cross the street or to provide a safer way to get from point A to point B. And lighting is critically important so that folks, when they're, especially now that time has gone back, it's dark at 5 o'clock. People are getting home at a time when it's darker now, making sure that our district is well lit, especially if you have to make a stop before you get home at a store, just making sure that folks feel safer. So the safety and lighting piece is extremely critical. And one of the things that we also want to make sure that is being clear throughout this is that if you have the ability in one service area and have the capacity in one, but also need like support around the other, hopefully collaboration is what comes out of this as well amongst vendors. And so community design and placemaking feels like that goes right hand in hand with safety and lighting as well. And so creating spaces that create and express pride around signage, landscaping, public art, and small design build projects. Again, during the pandemic, we saw the businesses being able to use public parking spaces to build out to extend their businesses, designing things like that that are safe for folks to travel through and for folks to sit in the street area. So just thinking broadly around what it means to live and exist in these spaces in a safe way, while also pulling in the culture of the area. There are absolutely opportunities for murals and creative placemaking to highlight culture and identity, as well as community ownership in this service area. Looking for really creative folks to be a part of this work. And then with justice and wellness integration, trauma-informed and restorative approaches that help residents and businesses feel connected and supported. So it could look like mediation, it can look like peace ambassador programs, mental health pop-ups, yoga in the park, like it could look all kinds of different ways. But we just want to make sure that while we're addressing the place, we're also connecting the people. In terms of facade design and construction, where we're looking for focus here is on upgrading the corridor's buildings, both inside and out. And so that includes storefront restoration, accessibility improvements, and ensuring each business meets modern safety code standards. And that falls right into our next part around sustainability. We're building a corridor and a main street for the future. We're seeing more and more environmental impacts in our neighborhoods around flooding, or even things around fires that have been happening. So we want to make sure that we're building sustainable infrastructure for businesses and for our community that can withstand some of these types of things. And so when we talk about sustainability and green infrastructure, again, it's about building resilience, using things like rain gardens and native landscaping, recycling systems, and stormwater management to make the corridor more sustainable. We're also, what's not mentioned here explicitly, but also really interested to see firms that focus on technology as well. Like, how do we use technology to pull all of these things together? We're open to both teams and individuals and across any of these service industries, but really looking for opportunities to deliver full-scale projects through across all of those different service areas. Again, trying to approach this from a very holistic place and holistic standpoint. And so if you excel in any one specific area, we'll match you with a complementary vendor. You don't have to show up knowing how to do everything, and you can show up with an interest in doing something else as well. As long as you're open to collaboration, there is likely a space for you. This is not a competitive process. This is an opportunity for us to build a list of dedicated vendors, folks who are really committed to doing work in Park Heights that match our vision. So we're hoping that we get several people across multiple service areas that are committed to doing this work. There's a lot of times where this work is going to happen fast. It's going to be like, hey, we got this opportunity. Are you ready to go? And we're hoping that you have built in capacity to support that work as it comes. And then other times it's gonna rely on when funding becomes available. And so we can get more detailed into that as we go through selecting and identifying who those vendors are going to be. And then for desired qualifications, we're looking for partners who bring both skill and heart, as I just mentioned, folks who are just passionate about doing work in a community that is growing and that is looking to be built and resilient for the future. Experience does matter, but so does connection, especially lived experience in Park Heights. And so applicants who live or work in the community will receive an additional weight in their scoring by 10 points. And that's why also partnering with others is going to be very important and key here too. So we want local ownership in this work. And that can look many different ways, but no one needs to understand. I'm sorry, because no one understands the needs of Park Heights like the people who live and build here and who've been here through many different generations. We have a lot of businesses who have been here for decades and have seen it all, have been through it all, have experienced it all. And so going back to that trust that we've built in the community, it's important that we identify partners who have had that same experience, who understand what it means to be a business operating in Park Heights or a community member operating here. But your experience absolutely is important as well. So we're looking forward to seeing as many folks raise their hand and submit their qualifications to this, but hoping that we can really highlight some individuals who are here and working here currently. And then for submission requirements, we're just looking for one PDF. I'm going to say that again, just one PDF submitted for your organization. It should include a cover letter, a profile, as well as a portfolio. And the portfolio does not have to be something elaborate. It doesn't have to be something super detailed. We just want to understand what your experience in this work has been in the past. So be free to identify what that looks like and how you want to present it. We don't want to be prescriptive because some work might have more visuals while others might be more narrative. We just want to understand what your experience in this work has been. A project approach. So if you are presenting or if you're submitting your qualifications for the building for interior and exterior design and building, if you want to we would ask that you let us know what your approach to working with businesses is and designing facades and getting that work done to completion. If your work is around lighting, like how do you do a survey of the area first? Like, do you take an approach where you spend time, all throughout the day and evening or surveying people? We just want to understand what your approach to this work is. Who the team is that you're presenting that's going to be working directly with Park Heights, what your rates are. And for those where insurance is required, if you required to be licensed in the city in order to do work, and bonded as well. Like we would like to make sure that you have those things in place as well. And then we are asking for references, 1 to 3 references, however many within that range you choose to submit. We would appreciate that. So because our review process is going to be quick, and so we don't want to have to continue to go back to individuals to collect that additional information. So we are asking for that upfront. And again, collaborative submissions are encouraged. Um, if you are submitting as a collaborative or with another person, we also just ask that you identify who the lead organization is, or if you're going to be submitting for multiple categories, which organization is going to be taking the lead on which category. All right, and so our timeline and evaluation process is on the screen. Again, the RFP closes on November the 24th. All questions that are submitted by this Friday will be posted on our website by November the 11th. So you can always go back there to get more information. We'll be selecting vendors by December the 23rd. So it's a very quick turnaround, which is why we're saying that this is not meant to be a truly competitive process. It is an opportunity for us to build a list of qualified vendors who can meet the needs across multiple service categories. But even in that, we do have, some qualifications. And so if you can just make sure that you're paying attention to that desired qualification list, we can get through this process very quickly. And we don't want to exclude folks who have a real interest in being a part of this work because there are things that are just missing from your application or your submission rather. And so we hope that the clarity around the qualifications and the process creates clarity and then also some fairness in how we are committed to doing this work with community members and the we're going to be bringing on community members as well as our PHR board safety committee to review this as well. All right, we're nearing the end. This is just the image that was that was in the RFQ. So this just goes this just breaks down all of the different areas that we'll be using to evaluate your submissions. And then again, highlighting that the local connection to Park Heights is an additional weighted area. All right. And then I think we're towards the end, and then we can get to all of your questions. Park Heights is already seeing momentum from new housing at Woodland Gardens to major investments tied to the Pimlico redevelopment. And so we are really excited about the investments that have been coming into Park Heights, but we have a lot more work to do. And so by pulling this list together of qualified vendors, we hope that we can keep that same momentum going. And we hope that folks see how this is a part of the larger picture, a much more coordinated, sustainable vision for Park Heights. We say bold new heights constantly as a part of the work that we do. And so we're really looking to take the work that we're doing to another level. And we're hoping that your interest in being here today shows that you're willing to go with us to be a part of this moving forward. Oh, also budget guidance. So, yes, describing this piece is very important. So, depending on the work that we're engaging in, there could be opportunities for multiple facade improvements to be done at one time, which is why you see such a large range. It could be an opportunity to host a community program as a part of the engagement or do some surveying. There's multiple opportunities for technical assistance and things like that as well. And so our budget range is very large, but that's because there are so many opportunities to be engaged across those service categories. And so the higher number is typically reserved for those construction projects, but there's many opportunities to be engaged across that range. And so I hope that that also is clear, was clear ahead of this, but that if you have additional questions, we can get into that as well too. All right. And so, lastly, just like as we close, just wanted to kind of leave you with when we light up our streets, when we clean up our lots and lift up our people, safety becomes a shared outcome, not a forced condition. And so we're really hoping that through this ecosystem that we're building with you all, with our residents, the young people, developers, and justice partners working side by side to make Park Heights safer, more beautiful, and more equitable, we really start to see the transformation that we've all been working towards for decades now. And so I just want to thank you all for being here tonight. On the screen, you'll also see where to submit your submissions, business engagement at phrmd.org. And then I can also put in the chat where, if it's not already there, where you can also find the questions that are going to be that we'll be responding to. So thank you all so much for being here tonight. And then I'm going to stop sharing so that I can get to the chat and see what questions we have to answer. Okay. Oh, everybody's just being cordial. Everybody knows everybody. So, like, wait a minute, all I see is hellos and heys and good evenings. Um, so really excited to see. It sounds like people,
Christina, there are a few questions in the chat.
I do see some now as I'm scrolling. Thank you.
Okay.
But I was like, the first thing I saw was the haze and hello. So that was good to see everybody, saying good evening to everyone. And thank you so much for posting the link to where the RFQ is posted and where this recording will also be placed, as well as the questions. So I do see a so as an artist who grew up in Park Heights, how can I express interest in any future art projects? So I say just also submit your qualifications here. There is an opportunity for several murals throughout Park Heights, and so having your information through this process, you would absolutely be we'll be able to connect with you as those opportunities and those projects become available. I think that's something that you'll probably see come available sooner rather than later. And so would just encourage anyone who is an artist who's looking to be engaged in those mural projects to connect. Also, sometimes facade improvement projects lead to murals and other beautification artists, art projects as well. And so just having your information ahead of time would allow us to be able to um, but connect with you much sooner. I hope that answered the question around that. And then for our agriculture greening projects, are you looking for companies who can do design and installation, or have designs already been sourced? No, we are looking for designs as well as installation. So if you have the ability to do one or the other, this would be a great opportunity to collaborate with someone else. But we're hoping to be able to also do some matchmaking based off of the vendor list that the final vendor list that we have. And then, is it permissible to gain contact with the collaboration partners before turning in the application? Unfortunately, I don't know that we have the time to make those types of introductions, but if you already have partners, if you already know of partners and folks who we listed, I think you should continue to use the resources that you already have available. But we won't have the ability to make those connections ahead of time. And contracts for tree plantings. I can't say specifically if that's something that's going to be a part of this specific RFQ, the specific outcome, but it is something in the future that we will be working towards. Beautification and landscaping. All of that is a part of all of that is a part of our initiatives. I just couldn't say when. So again, if there is an interest in something specific in regards to landscaping or agriculture, I say submit. And so, like, there might be projects in the beginning of the year. I know that's not the best time for planting, so that's not the time where we'll likely be releasing those opportunities. So, again, just submit your information, and as those opportunities become available and you've identified landscaping or agriculture as the service area you're interested in being considered for, then we would reach out to you at those times. All right. We also have my team is applying to open a charter school for grades 6 through 12, and the and interested in opening the school in the old Northwestern building. Is this something your organization is interested in? I don't have that information directly right now. Is there, Yolanda, is that something specifically that you have any additional information about?
The information so that um, we all know as a dear asset in the community, but there is a current plan, at least over the next 5 years. Northwestern is serving as patrons in schools. 21st century schools are being rehabbed and back into production. Of course, over time, but it is not an immediate part of the next 3 to 5 year plan, because we know for certain that Baltimore City Public Schools at least a 5 year plan for the with the
All right.
so
I'll
I
make
hope that
sure.
answers.
Yeah. And we're cutting out just a little bit, so I'll make sure that that's a part of the questions that we post next week, just so that there's a place to refer back to the information that Yolanda just provided. And then the last question I'm seeing here for right now, oh, there's two more, I believe, is around property acquisition as an allowable expense for small businesses in the retail sector. So that would not directly be a part of this opportunity, but there are resources for property acquisition. And so if you are interested in a particular property, then feel free to also reach out to the business engagement email so that we can learn more about what you're looking to do. But if any of the service categories are also something that you're interested in, still please submit your response. And then would AI communication requests be a part of this RFQ as well? Could you elaborate a
Yes.
little bit? Oh, never mind. I was saying, all right.
I can answer that, Christina.
Okay.
I am very interested in potential AI related support and technologies and understanding how the expertise in that area could be partners in this work, particularly around showing impact, streamlining how we look at data and do visualizations for the community on our progress. So, definitely looking for any creative edge around technology and AI influence support tools.
Great. And I think I missed a question. Would this be an opportunity for new business and nonprofit oriented for Park Heights to pitch their project for support? This be an opportunity for a new business and nonprofit oriented for. I'm not sure I'm understanding that question. I'm not sure why I'm struggling with
I think there
comprehension.
was,
Whoever submitted it can unmute themselves and
Yeah, feel
provide
free to
it.
unmute if you can. If not, can you put your email in the chat so that we can follow up uh, directly to get clarity around that question so we make sure that we're answering that appropriately. All right.
Sorry, yeah,
Oh,
I was
oh, go
struggling
ahead.
just now. But yeah, so basically my question is this like I know the application is for vendors, but because I'm working with a group of people and a few of us is from Park Heights, but we're working on this project for a food business, but also with a nonprofit. We're hoping to acquire space on Park Heights, but we just kind of want to know, would this be an opportunity for us to pitch the idea just to get support so that maybe I guess we can get more familiar with or to I guess join in on what's going on as we acquire space.
So I think the best way to connect with us around your business interests is to email business engagement directly. This really is an opportunity for vendors who are able to move projects forward
Mm-hmm.
as they become available. But if there are any individuals within your cohort or your collective that have the ability to provide or to meet the need of those service categories, I still recommend submitting your information for that. But
Okay.
anything business related that we can help with, please just email business engagement.
Okay. Okay, will do. Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you for your question. And then will any vendor be considered for future work if they did not respond to the RFQ? I will say that if after we've gone through this process, if there are still gaps in service categories that we haven't been able to fill, then if there are any vendors that we're aware of, then we would definitely continue outreach in that way. But we're hoping that that with everyone and all the engagement that we've received so far, that we meet all of our service category needs. So would still truly encourage everyone to submit something so that we have your information and the ability to contact you as opportunities become available. So let me go back to that slide. And so businesses do not necessarily have to be Maryland-based businesses, but you do have to be able to do work in Baltimore City. And so that is two different things, but we absolutely, as we mentioned, we're giving preference to local-based businesses first. Awesome. Any other questions? Again, truly appreciate everyone's time this evening. Really excited to see everyone here and to connect with you all, not just through this RFQ, but hopefully across all of the different initiatives that Park Heights has going on right now. Please, and I know this isn't my job, but just please, well, it's everybody's job actually. Please continue to follow us across all of our social media platforms. Check the website continuously for other opportunities as they become available. This is not the only thing that we're working on, but we're really excited for everyone's interest and hope to continue working with you all in some capacity as we continue to move towards bolder new heights. Thank you, everyone, for joining us tonight. I hope you have a great evening.
Thank you, Christina.
Thank you.
Have a good one.
Good night.
Thank you.
Good night.
Good night. Good night.
Good night, everyone. Thank you.
Good night.
Oh, Christina, question. Where do we find the recording? I'm too late.
We'll be sending out an email within the next 2 days. It'll have the recording and links to the application.
Thank you so much, Jade. You're amazing.
No problem.